Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today guys, I'm going to bring you my WWE Monday Night Raw review for February 18th, 2019. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first thing that we had on the show was Triple H came out and he introduced some NXT stars from the locker room, and I did make a breaking news video about this, and the stars that were revealed were Aleister Black, Ricochet, and DIY, also known as Gargano and Ciampa. They were all revealed and they would all make their Raw debuts tonight. And also he went over what happened at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view and the news that broke this morning that D-Generation X will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. By the way, that video, guys, it's insane. It has like 900 views. I'm recording this just after Monday Night Raw, so yeah. But anyway, this was a good start to the pay-per-view. And then he announced that Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin will be fighting in a tables match. And then that match, basically Strowman came out first, then Corbin came out. And basically Corbin took advantage early of the injured ribs of Braun Strowman after Strowman was slammed through a table last night by Lashley, Corbin, and McIntyre. Slammed through a table. And yeah, then Strowman actually fell off the stage after Baron Corbin, I believe, put him on the announce table and hit him, and then Strowman fell off the stage as they cut to commercial break. And then Strowman hit Corbin with the stairs multiple times after Corbin was thrown to the outside. Strowman took advantage with multiple steel step shots, and then Corbin did his run around the ring thing, but this time Strowman caught Corbin, delivered a power slam through the table, and Braun Strowman is your winner. Honestly, not a big victory for Braun Strowman whatsoever. I mean, his momentum is just killed. I mean, like, honestly, like losing to Corbin last night, that killed his momentum, as well as, having the multiple Universal title shots and just not winning the titles. So honestly, his momentum is killed. So anyway, moving on, Paul Heyman actually came out right when Strowman finished the match, and Strowman ended up trying to choke Paul Heyman, but he ended up letting go. And then Paul Heyman got in the ring and did his whole shtick about Brock Lesnar. And then he talked about the life of Brock Lesnar. He actually made a production, which, is a little embarrassing. But he made a production about Brock Lesnar's life, how he grew up in South Dakota, and how he became one of the best collegiate wrestlers in the country in like 2000, and how WWE recruited him. And it was decent. And then they talked about his UFC run as well as defeating the Streak, all that. It's nothing new here. And then Paul Heyman continued to knock Seth Rollins, saying that he will not be Brock Lesnar, essentially. But then Finn Balor came out, and then they cut to commercial break. Then when they came back, what happened was Lio Rush came out, and Rush basically said to Balor that he doesn't deserve to be an Intercontinental champion. Lashley does. Then Lashley attacked Balor from behind, and then Lio Rush and Lashley continued assaulting Balor until the one and only Ricochet came in and saved Finn Balor. And then a tag match was made. It was going to be Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush taking on Finn Balor and Ricochet. So the first NXT debut of the night came in Ricochet. Then we had the tag match. So in this match, obviously Lashley's power showed, and then also the athleticism of Ricochet really showed in this match. And Ricochet is an incredible athlete, and Lio Rush too. I mean, these guys are incredible. Like, I really like Lio Rush. He's young, so I think he'll be in the WWE for years. But anyway, moving on. So Balor was playing off an injury in this matchup, and honestly, they do this a lot with Balor. They portrayed him the underdog constantly in this match, along with other matches. He's always portrayed as an underdog, but yet he overcomes the odds, and that's usually what happens with Finn Balor. Anyway, moving on. So Balor came back, had a comeback, and almost tags in Ricochet, but Lio Rush gets to Balor just as he's trying to tag him in and grounds him, but then Balor delivers a slam. Lio Rush tags Bobby Lashley in, and then Balor delivered a move to Lashley and tagged in Ricochet. And Ricochet got on a hot streak and basically did a suicide dive, I believe, to Lio Rush and also Bobby Lashley. Then he threw Lio back in the ring, Then Lashley showed he was really frustrated, so he ran after Ricochet. And then he went on the barricade, jumped over Lashley, and Balor hit Lashley with the big drop kick right into the barricade. And then Ricochet hit a nice 630 off the top rope. And then we got the 1-2-3 on Lio Rush. Honestly, I don't like the way WWE is portraying Lio Rush as this, like, he can't win. Like, I just don't like it. They're burying Lio Rush a lot, and I think he has a lot of talent. You know, he has a lot of talent, and WWE's not using him correctly, and it's a darn shame because the guy is incredible, and I'm just saying, send him down to 205 Live and have him fight there, because 205 Live has some great superstars, and if Lio Rush can make it on 205 Live, then he could be like, who's it called, Mustafa Ali, and make it on the main roster. So, yeah. Then they showed a promo of Becky Lynch attacking Charlotte and Ronda at the Chamber, which I thought was incredible. That really was just a great segment, and who's it called? Ronda and Charlotte getting destroyed by Becky. And Triple H did mention at the beginning of the show that Becky will be arrested and charged with a lot of stuff if she does that again. Which honestly, it's we know it's kayfabe, so it doesn't matter. Next match was Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder taking on the Lucha House Party, and the athleticism really showed by the Lucha House Party. I actually really like the Lucha House Party. Definitely watch out for them. They have great athleticism, and they're just great. They're a good team, and I think that they could make a run to the tag titles very soon. But anyway, moving on. Dorado, I believe it was Lince Dorado, hits the Hurricane Rana on Kurt Hawkins for the victory. Honestly, there really wasn't much to say about this match, so we're going to move on. Next, we had a bit of a segment here between Lacey Evans and Heavy Machinery. So Machinery came out and basically said how they were going to ascend to the top of the division and how they were great wrestlers. But then all of a sudden, we get Lacey Evans interrupting them, and Evans struts down the entrance ramp, comes back. I don't know what they're doing with her. But anyway, then Heavy Machinery did a bit of a strut down the ramp as well, doing like the bushwhackers and all that, which I thought was pretty funny, but also kind of embarrassing, But Heavy Machinery is, I think they're a great tag team, though. That kind of build is incredible for them, so definitely watch out for them to be a force on the main roster and be in the hunt for the Raw Tag Team titles. Next match we had was DIY taking on the Revival, and we did see Bobby Roode and Chad Gable looking on. So Gargano, basically what happened was Gargano had to fight back against Dash and Wilder. Oh my goodness, I messed up in the script. It's Dawson and Wilder. But then Ciampa tagged in, and he delivered a big knee to Dawson, and he tried to go, the Revival tried to go for the Shatter Machine, but Ciampa delivered a nasty hip toss into the turnbuckle on Dawson, and then Gargano hit the DDT from the top rope in a kick out. Then Scott Dawson went after Ciampa, and there was multiple pins here. And then Ciampa saves the matchup with a save at 2 after Dawson planted Johnny headfirst off of Wilder's shoulders, which I thought was a great spot. It was a good spot. But then Johnny hit the slingshot spear, and they hit the super kick in the knee, the old DIY finisher, and Dawson gets pinned. Honestly, I don't like the Revival losing, but then again, it is for DIY, so who cares? Then, Ricochet, I gotta say this, man. Ricochet, don't be like a motivational speaker on Raw. Like, he's like a motivational speaker. He's saying, if you could reach your dreams, they'll be great and all that. And it's like, come on, like, this is WWE. You can't be like that. I mean, like, you can have it for a while, but then fans get sick of you. You can't be saying that. You just can't, Ricochet. You can't. Anyway, we had Sasha and Bayley celebrate their tag title victory, and then they proclaimed that they are the first women's tag team champions, and they still think it's so surreal, which I think it is, and they kind of portrayed a bit of a flashback to making history in NXT with the first Iron Women match and fighting each other for the NXT Championship, and they talked about how they gave their heart and soul into creating the women's tag team titles. And Nia Jax and Tamina ended up coming out, and Jax really doesn't get the team, and that Bayley essentially is on the short end of the stick, and Jax portrays that Sasha only cares about herself and that she will turn on Bayley eventually. Then Jax and Tamina eventually go after Bayley and Sasha, but are immediately swatted away like flies, and that's how that segment ends. Honestly, I like Bayley and Sasha as tag champions, but it's pretty obvious. WWE, it's pretty obvious. Sasha is going to turn on Bayley eventually, and that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a match between them. It's going to happen. Next, we had a little promo about DX, the recap of their entire career, and I was very, very happy with DX getting inducted, but there were reports that the Hart Foundation was actually supposed to go in, but because of issues involving Owen Hart, they unfortunately will not be inducting the Hart Foundation this year and instead inducted DX because the widow of Owen Hart is still very upset at the WWE because of what happened with Owen while he was still in the company in 1999. So, I mean, I get it on her standpoint, but Owen would have wanted him to get inducted into the Hall of Fame along his brothers, and that would also include Brian Pillman. And something actually very interesting is that out of the Hart Foundation, the Attitude Era, only one person is still alive, and that's Bret Hart, because Jim died last year, Pillman died in 97, and then we had Owen Hart unfortunately pass away in 1999, so that was really, really sad, but yeah, just it's upsetting to me, man. Anyway, next match we have is Dean Ambrose taking on Drew McIntyre, and McIntyre squashed Ambrose in a matter of minutes, and I did not like this at all. I see why Dean Ambrose is asking for his release, or he's not going to be renewing his contract in April because of the way WWE treats him. I mean, this guy was a WWE champion. Now he's just like enhancement talent for Drew McIntyre. It seems like that. It just doesn't make sense, man. It really doesn't. I don't like what they're doing with Ambrose. I think that they're wasting his obvious talent, and I'm happy he's leaving. Hopefully in AEW or wherever he chooses to go, he'll be able to revive his career and get some title reigns, because he deserves it, man. You know, he deserves good title reigns. So that's that. Then we had a segment with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose came up to Rollins after an interview, and he was like, "Hey, man, where were you out there?" And Rollins like, "Have you lost your darn mind?" And Ambrose says, and walks away. I thought that was pretty funny. But then again, I can see why Ambrose is asking for, well, not asking for his release, but I can see why he's not renewing his contract, because he's not being utilized well on the roster. So, you know, goodbye to you. Next, we had Elias come out for a musical performance, and he says he's done being treated poorly and says how he is talented. And then, just as we're getting the musical performance, Aleister Black interrupts him, and we get a match with him and Aleister Black, and it ends with the Black Mass, and out of nowhere, we get a 1-2-3. And honestly, Elias excelled early in the match, but he was able to ground Aleister Black, but then he got frustrated, and Aleister Black hit the Black Mass out of nowhere to get the 1-2-3. Honestly, I really like Aleister Black. He has obvious talent, and I'm really excited to see what he could do on the main roster, because I feel that he's really, really good, and he'll be a future world champion. Now, the final match we had was Ruby Riott taking on Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship, and in this match, there was actually a spot where Riott dropped Ronda on the back of her neck, which looked very, very nasty, but that's kind of what I like, though. You know, I like the aggression out of Ruby Riott. And the Riott Squad was constantly a factor in this match, helping Ruby throughout the way. And Ruby actually hit a very, very good spear on Ronda Rousey. It looked devastating. And also, Ronda Rousey possibly missed a punch bad on Ruby Riott. Didn't even graze her face, so that was something. But there were multiple takedowns in this match, and then Ruby hit the Riott kick for a near fall on Ronda Rousey. And there was a great gut-wrench slam by, I believe it was Ronda Rousey. And then off the top rope, Ronda was coming off the top rope. Riott hit another Riott kick off the top for yet another near fall. Then Ronda got Ruby in the armbar, but the Riott Squad saved her. Then Ronda takes out the Riott Squad and then hits the armbar on Ruby Riott, and Ruby taps out. And that is it. So Ronda retains, which, I mean, is pretty obvious, but still, I mean, WWE, in my opinion, they buried Ruby Riott, because I don't know how she could come back from this. I don't know how she could possibly come back from this, because of what I'm seeing right now. She's lost multiple times to Ronda Rousey, so honestly, it's not good for me, man. I don't like talent getting buried like that. I just don't like it, man. I really don't like it. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the Raw review. Overall, this Raw was decent, but then again, I didn't like the Dean Ambrose segment where he was basically made to look like a handsome talent. And I also didn't like the Ruby Riott match. I mean, we knew Ronda was going to retain, but still, 2 straight losses for Ruby. It just kills her momentum. I like the DIY and Revival match. I like that. Hawkins and Ryder, it's whatever. I liked the Becky Lynch at the Chamber segment. And I liked, the thing I didn't like was Lio Rush getting buried yet again. And, yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like, smash 5 likes. I am recording this at about 11 o'clock p.m. So this video will go up early tomorrow. I'm going to try to get it out early for you guys. By the way, thank you on all the support. My breaking news video on the NXT Stars Backstage, that got like 50 views. And then my DX video got like 900. I think it's going to hit 1,000 by tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for all your support. Really, really appreciate it. And anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Peace out.